This is a retelling of 10 Years in a Portsmouth Slum, the remarkable 1896 memoir by Father Robert Dolling. In it, Dolling recounts a decade of ministry among the poor of Landport, one of Victorian England's most crowded and neglected districts. Through beauty, discipline and compassion, he sought to bring the Church of England back to the people it seemed to have forgotten. His work at St. Agatha's became a living symbol of the Christian faith in action, where incense mingled with dockyard smoke and holiness took root in the backstreets of Portsmouth. What follows is a summary of each chapter, blending history, theology and storytelling to capture the heart of Dolling's mission, a vision of faith that was beautiful, courageous and profoundly human. In 1885, a young priest stepped off a train at Portsmouth. The air smelled of salt and smoke. 52 pubs crowded one street. People laughed, fought, sang and despaired. But Father Dolling didn't see a slum. He saw a parish and a God who hadn't left it. God has sent me, he said, to teach these people that they are his children. And with that, he began to build something holy in the unlikeliest place on earth. His first Sunday in Landport was chaos. Children shouting, mothers arguing, boys lighting pipes in the pews. But Dolling didn't see defiance, he saw hunger. They were sinful as a rule, he wrote, because they were poor. He preached not punishment but compassion. He met sin with friendship and shame with hope, and slowly those noisy streets began to sound like hymns again. He bought an abandoned chapel and filled it with ropes, weights and laughter, a gymnasium he called it, a church of muscle and mercy. Here rough boys learned more than boxing, they learned brotherhood. Dolling said the grace of God sometimes smells of sweat. There were fights, yes, but also forgiveness. In that noise and struggle, faith began to take shape. It was the women who made St. Agatha's sing. Dolling's real sisters, Elise and Geraldine, walked the streets with courage and tea. They didn't just preach, or they didn't preach, they listened. Factory girls, widows and mothers all became part of the mission. He even taught them to dance. If they cannot court decently, he laughed, let us teach them. Gaslight, waltzes, laughter, holiness through joy, and for once the church felt like home. Dolling said, "You cannot cure the loafer or the drunkard, you must prevent the child." When the parish school was condemned, he rebuilt it through prayer alone. From dawn till midnight, his people prayed in hourly turns. 2 months later, the funds appeared. He called it the first miracle of St. Agatha's, and when the children sang, off-key but radiant, he heard the sound of England being reborn. From the dust of Portsmouth rose a church, red brick, white stone, windows that caught the sun like glass fire. Every brick paid for by the poor, every ornament an act of love. Beauty, said Dolling, is the right of the poor. When St. Agatha's opened, the people wept. For the first time, they saw a church that looked like it loved them. Not everyone was pleased. Confession, incense, daily mass, too Catholic, they said. Dolling was summoned, criticised, exhausted, but unshaken. If our work brings souls to Christ, he told his bishop, then judge it by its fruit. In the end, he resigned rather than compromised. The poor wept as he left, carrying their faith in their hearts because he had taught them to see holiness in themselves. Every year, boys from Winchester College came to Landport. At first, chaos. By the end, reverence. He watched friendships from between the rich and poor, between the educated and the forgotten. Even the wildest day's mischief, he said, was redeemed by their love. And in those unlikely friendships, England looked whole just for a moment. In the glow of candles, the poor knelt in silence, the altar shimmer of gold and light. Dolling wrote, "The poor understand beauty better than the rich, because they know what ugliness costs." The Mass wasn't theatre, it was tenderness made visible. In the smoke of incense, the lost found their dignity again. After 10 years he was finished. His body was failing, but his spirit burned. These, he said, have been the happiest years of my life. To the church, he was controversial. To Portsmouth, he was generally beloved. And long after he was gone, St. Agatha's still whispered his message that holiness can bloom in the darkest streets and that beauty belongs to everyone.